What's going on, everybody? On here. Just a quick video tonight. Um, so I want to talk about some of these reprints, restocks, and I know some of the other YouTubers have talked about this as much as a month ago. And now that we have some actual, real hard information, I'll give you guys the details and the facts on everything. So the Prismatic Evolutions reprint supposedly is the second wave. It is no different than what happened with 151. With 151, the release came in September of 2023, and then there was a second wave of ETBs that came, I believe it was May. It's the same thing that we're seeing here. Now, whether they were reprinted because they were short printed the first time or not remains to be seen. But what I'm told is these are still a couple weeks out, probably not until May. So you've heard people say it's imminent, it's coming, it's in the warehouses, it's coming for April, it's going to MSRP. That's bullshit. You've heard people, most people say there's a reprint coming in May. That it's all the same thing. And May is the accurate date as far as I'm aware at this point. So let's talk about pricing. So we've got pricing from multiple distributors. There's going to be 3 or 4 of them where they're going to sell ETBs for $110. They're going to keep them in stock as long as they can. And if you can't make enough money, then you're welcome to not sell them. There's probably 2 or 3 of the big 4 who are going to sell them between $80 and $95. That's just the way it is. Now, we may see a bundle, we may not. And then 2 of the big 4, did I say 3 of the big 4? Well, 2 or 3 of the big 4, and then the remaining 2 or 1 or 2 of the big 4, they're going to do bundles. In fact, I already know one of the bundles is it's and it's limited to 1 or 2, maybe 3 per store, depending on your spend. It's going to be 2 cases of ETBs, which is nice, and a case of Kanto mini tins. This is pretty well spread around the community as of now in Discord. But the market price for those 2, or the sale price for those 2, is it's going to be right around what it was at release. So you call it $32, $35 for the Prismatic ETB, and the Kanto mini tins are probably going to be $8.99 or whatever the number is. 2 packs in each one. However, here's where the problem comes in. You have to buy $1,000 of open order product. Open order product, for those of you who don't know, in a market like this, is product that's not moving. So in the hottest bull market since COVID, it's not moving. And the last time that we had these bundles, all of the Magic the Gathering product was excluded. Even OTJ, Karlov, it was all excluded. So you got to buy the Flesh and Blood sets, the old ones, not the good ones that nobody wants because they're junk. Final Fantasy TCG, no Bandai. That just comes in and out at distro. There's almost never anything available there. Dragon Ball. I'm trying to think. Sorcery. You can have all the Arthurian Legend boxes you want. Or Beta. Just came out. And if you know who the distributors are, that narrows it down to the 2. If you don't, then you can keep guessing. But the $1,000 is starting to become very punitive, because even if you make a killing on the 20 ETBs, say you make $60 per ETB, so that's $1,200. You got to get your money back, or you really start to get hurt. The Kanto mini tins, you're not going to make any money on, because it's 2 random Sword and Shield packs, and they're the newer packs. So yeah, I think some of the ones that we ordered, it was Astral and Silver Tempest. I think I opened one that was a Silver Tempest and a Lost Origin, which was great. But it almost seems like it's just a random pack cleanup, just trying to push the last of the inventory out. So since the product that you're buying isn't really moving, you're basically taking all of your profit and you're putting it in in a product, and you're just hoping it sells, or you're hoping that you have a way to sell it, not at a discount, because if you sell it at a discount, obviously, that goes straight to your bottom line. So that's what's going on with Prismatic Evolutions. With the 151 poster collections, and there have been a ton of these selling on Walmart and Amazon and all over the place. This looks like there's a pretty sizable amount coming. We've gotten multiple cases across the board. The pricing on this ranges anywhere from close to $20 per poster collection, which at 3 packs is like 6 and change, which is still good because the packs are selling for $11, to $8.99, $11.99, whatever. Now, I don't believe they're part of any sort of bundle because it's just not a whole lot of dollars, but we'll see. So we have that piece. So, excuse me, my kids got me sick again, and this time it's strep throat, so it's great fun. There were a lot of items that came to market a couple weeks ago, and I've spoken at length about them. And it seems like every time the Pokemon Company cleans out mothballed parts of the warehouses, they went to distribution. And distribution, each distributor runs at their own speed. So it was Scarlet and Violet base 3-pack blisters, Obsidian Flames 3-pack blisters and Build and Battle boxes, Paradox Rift Build and Battle stadiums. Let's see. And the stadiums, for example, I've seen anywhere from $50 to $25. So a lot of this stuff is coming out right in your face, just right at market or slightly below. And that includes some of the big boys too. And some of them are actually giving you a decent deal. But ultimately, if you don't buy the product, somebody else is and you're falling behind. So, unfortunately, that's the market that we're at as a store, because you got to buy everything. Because if you don't, you're falling behind. And then next thing you know, you're giving somebody a reason to slash your allocation. And then we had Temporal Forces, the 3-pack blisters, and the Build and Battles. Those are still coming out every now and then through certain distributors. And the other thing I've noticed is some of the booster box restock that I broke the news on way back in February. Some of those are still trickling market. There are some distributors that have held them back, just trying to figure out the best way to get them out there. So they are coming to market on occasion. Now, at this point, it's a trickle. It's nothing that's going to move the market, but it does exist, and there is some other stuff coming out there. Other than that, again, we're through all but effectively one allocation for Destin Rivals, and we have multiple verbal confirmations. It looks like the allocation is going to be the same or a little bit above what it was for Journey Together. So there's going to be product out there. Same issue with the ancillary SKUs. They're all going to big box stores. So there aren't going to be cases upon cases of sleeve boosters. The ETBs they're light, but they're not nothing. And by not nothing, let me say that the allocation is greater than what it was for Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, if that helps you. Not by much, but it is by a little bit. Bundles, same thing. Case 2, 3, 5 from a distributor, when we could have gotten 50 before. So a lot of the ancillary stuff is going to big box stores, but the booster boxes should be readily available. The ETBs, same. I don't want to say scarcity because that's the wrong term, but the same squeeze on the distributor and the LGS side that we saw with Journey Together. So anyway, guys, just wanted to do a quick video. My voice is going to die, so like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a good night.